Hello, game changers. This is Alexandra here to talk to you a little bit about my experience in the Game Changer Academy this year. I found Fritz and the Game Changer Academy on Instagram back in November when I was first trying to go vegan. I think in November, I clearly didn't take their advice on their vegan meal plans Instagram page. And I think in November, I gained like a pound a week. In mid-December, I was like crying because I was gaining a bunch of weight being vegan because I didn't know how to eat. Going from a typical American diet to trying to be vegan and having never done that before was very much a trial and error. I had no idea what I was doing. But I found Fritz and I saw just all of the results of his clients and I was like, I'm interested in this. I want that. So I'd say, yeah, in December, I was not in a great place. I was really frustrated. My boyfriend was losing a pound a week and I was gaining a pound a week. I was like, what the hell is going on? Is this just not for me? And so but the other thing was my inflammation had decreased significantly. I was having like impingement in both shoulders, bad knee, like it was a mess. So I knew I was on the right track because my body felt better, even though I was gaining weight. But yeah, I'd say I was not in a great place emotionally. I was gaining weight. I wasn't like depressed or unhappy, but I knew that I wasn't where I could be. And I was just trying to figure it out. I'd say my biggest hesitation with working with the Game Changers was the financial commitment. It was a big deal. And I really wasn't sure what I was going to get with that commitment. And I wasn't sure if it was going to be like worth it. But, what made me want to join was the candid conversation I had with Fritz. He took his time and really he hit on some, like he hit home with some of the things he said. I think in our conversation there were points where I was like in tears not because he was being mean or harsh, but he was very frank about like, hey, you're not happy. And I think it resonates because he's probably been there too, where like, you're not really happy, you're not living to your full potential. And that can be really hard to recognize and just be like, I am not proud of what I see in the mirror. That was a very emotional thing for me. So that was before the program. I joined the program. Everything was like, it's actually really nice. They have like a nice checklist you go through every day and they have the requirements that you meet every week. And there were some weeks where I wasn't that great, but I lost 13 pounds and I learned so much about how to get enough protein and how not to just live off carbohydrates and gain a bunch of weight week by week being vegan. It was a great experience. Lisa, shout out to you for giving me those pep talks, especially at the beginning of COVID. I had a really hard time. I was very anxious. I had finally gotten to like a good stride at the gym, and then that was kind of taken away from me. So I was definitely struggling and hitting that struggle button where you kind of make things harder on yourself because making changes is hard. So having them coach you through that to say, hey, come up with a regimen, have a routine, do something for you, make sure that you take care of yourself was a game changer. So writing down my schedule, even though you don't ever leave your house, like carving out time to do things that eat, work out, walk, whatever it may be, it helped so much. I learned a ton. I'd say the biggest transformation was obviously how I look. I lost 13 pounds over the course of 3 months. And even now I look at my thighs, I'm like, oh, wow, I have muscle tone. Look at that. But beyond that, I think before I started the academy, I was in this vicious cycle where you take before photos and you're like, I'm going to commit to working out. And then 6 months later, you're like, wow, I have gained more weight than I ever planned on losing in this amount of time. And I always thought that losing weight was hard. I just was at the point where I was like, this is hard. Like maybe I'll never get back to that weight. Like I was committed to the idea that losing weight is hard. And I think the biggest transformation coming out of this is that it's really not that hard. It's if you commit to it, if you make healthy choices every day consistently, it's not hard. You can do it. It's very easy. Like if you want to have a bagel, sure, you can have a bagel every day. If you want to change how you look, how you feel, and how you operate through life, it really was a huge confidence booster. I am not where I want to be, but since being out of the program a month ago, I still am continuing to lose weight here and there without doing anything drastically different. I also am looking forward to fitness challenges more, where I'm like, okay, for the next 30 days, what am I going to do to like just help keep me motivated and accountable? And I've done that many times in the past and never stuck with it. So I'd say that's the biggest thing, is establishing routine, consistency, and knowing what is the right thing to put in my body and at the right times, has been a game changer. So thank you, Fritz and Lisa, for helping me get back on track and feel better about myself and my daily life choices. If you're thinking about doing the program, I highly recommend it, even though it seems like a huge daunting task. Like, you can do it. It's not as hard as you think it is. You just need someone there to help you through it. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my feedback.